for me, and then went out for some pizzas last night, so that was nice. A lot of socialising.
Awesome. How about you, Adrian?
Yeah, mine was good. I don't know where to look.
No, me either. And I can't hear you on my screen. I can only hear you here because Hayley's sorted it out for me.
Yeah, mine was good. I just caught up with some friends.
Yeah.
A little bit of socialising, I guess. Same as Jake.
Was there any eating involved?
No, I didn't have any wine this weekend.
No.
Don't have too much.
And Anthony did a PB around the golf course. He tells us.
Okay.
My parents came over actually, so they did some housework, did a bit of maintenance around there. Just fixing up the backyard, then we put like paving and all that nice backyard area.
It's one of your something people don't actually know about you. You're pretty handy. Good skills. How about you, Hale? Get up to.
I just went out. But no food. Eating is cheating, Steve. You don't want to waste your money on drinks, so you just don't eat. The responsible way.
Phil, this is slightly surreal for us because we've been working together. I think we're into our tomorrow will be into our 6 months. So we all started together. Well, Adrian and I have worked together for a bit longer than that, but this is the first time we've actually met in person. Right? Wow. Yeah, so go figure, eh? And Andy Doe must be still looking for a part.
At all since we started it, how many months ago? So it's still weird to see people in person.
I know, it sort of takes a bit of getting used to as well.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
So are your BNIs
back
in person now, are they?
No, not yet. They're doing one-to-ones in person. Like they're all kind of itchy to kind of catch up with people for coffee and things like that. And that's good. It's just weird though, because you're just used to you've worked with them for because we launched maybe 2 months ago, but then we've been in like a startup phase for like months as well. So no one actually has met anyone in person. So they're all kind of going, let's all catch up. I'm like, okay, but I've got to find time for this now because I'm used to just jumping on Zoom in between jobs. So it's all the driving out, then ordering your coffee, and it all takes time, which I guess we didn't realise.
Well, I can tell you that Ben's been meeting in person for at least 6 weeks, I reckon, in BNI, and did his presentation in person. It's all full on back in Perth, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, it's great. It's been fantastic.
It's just BNI like normal over there.
Yeah, I don't know what it was like to have BNI online. So.
Well, you did wake up at 5 o'clock at one stage to come on a.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I did. Oh wait, yeah, no, I did jump. Okay, yeah, no, I did jump into South Australia and I did jump onto BNI London. So my bad.
There's Hannah and Emily. So Brisbane's joined us. They're sort of sneakily thinking about going online. Offline, I should say. Hannah's not going to quite make it with her presentation this week, but I think Emily is the following week, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we've been trying to go back in person, but everyone's a bit unorganised. You have to do all this stuff before we can go back, apparently. So I'll be online this week for my presentation.
And clearly, Brisbane weren't able to get together. And Ben and Jake, I'm disappointed you guys didn't meet on the Nullarbor sort of intersection just to say hello for this morning, so that we could all feel like we were doing stuff together.
Me and Emily are going to meet next week. We decided because Emily's presenting, and we sort of left it too late.
Yeah,
so next week you'll see us together.
We tried to figure it out last night, and it was just wasn't happening.
Well, I think we got this pretty sorted. All right,
Jake, middle ground. Do you want to meet at Esperance?
How many hundreds of kilometres is that away?
That's a good 6-hour drive for me.
Have you been there yet, Ben?
Yeah, 6-hour drive.
Esperance is well worth a visit, at least once in your lifetime. It's a beautiful spot. The beaches are magnificent there. Just these white sand beaches are unbelievable. I remember going as an 8-year-old or something like that, I reckon. Unreal.
Is Andy there too, or is it just the four of you?
No, I think Andy's possibly, if you don't have locals knowledge, and or want to run the gauntlet of the car parking inspectors because they're all on a 1 hour, Andy's possibly still searching for a park. But we'll give him a few minutes, so we're not too bad. Hales, you might want to order a coffee. I think I'm surprised they have. No, inside.
I don't need my mask.
No, I asked. No mask required. Not when we're eating.
Can I go off?
They'll put it on. They need to wear it, but you don't. So you can cough and splutter away. Probably best still to cough into your elbow if you need to. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's a little bit surreal though, right? I was saying to Phil, right? So clearly in Brisbane and Perth and Adelaide, we will get to do this. Here's Andy's mate. Andy's representing too. He's kind of representing Westside. I like it. Yeah. So there we go. He's made it. Is anybody that we missed on? Emily, anything exciting this weekend at your end?
Yeah, I had Thanksgiving.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anything special? So you've had a bit of a run. So Halloween, your favourite holiday, and then you're into Thanksgiving. So how did it feel? Were you feeling, was it sort of melancholic a little bit for you?
Yeah, well, it was a rough weekend. If you don't know, I had to so that sucked. That's Friday. Or no, that was Saturday. And then Saturday night, we did Thanksgiving at my aunt's house. So it's not my favorite weekend. But Thanksgiving was really lovely. And my aunt was super great, kind to host it for me. So it was nice.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, I don't know if everybody caught that because Andy was just arriving here. But yeah, no, Emily's unfortunately not able to travel. Or was it a decision you decided not to travel?
It was, I talked it out with my parents and my grandmother, and they were essentially like, it's super not safe to come here right now. And then my friend the next day texted me to say her father tested positive, but didn't tell anyone and still hosted Thanksgiving. Yeah, so she's now in quarantine. So it's just a bad situation over there. Yeah, she's really mad, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to quarantine coming back as well.
Yeah, I would, which I didn't hate.
Mind.
Yeah, but
you can do Diffy from hotels, so that's
right,
good.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to come up with some BNI subs. That was the only difficult part.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
You might go to hotel quarantine and go, "How good is this Wi-Fi?"
Yeah, I know, right?
Struggled at times.
So it is what it is. But yeah, so I had Thanksgiving, which was nice to have a little bit of home.
Hey, Andy, how did you go get in a park? You got one all right? Yeah. So he's in a neighbouring suburb, so that's a good thing. And he is here, I reckon, just 10:29. So we'll ask you, what did you get up to over the weekend?
I went on a road trip with a couple of friends, so not feeling 100%. Yeah, exactly. Got to take advantage.
Awesome. That's not like Andy either. He's been very chilled throughout the COVID period. Very stay at home in your that flash seat you've got. Awesome. All right. Well, let me have a go at sharing screen then, eh? Oh, I'll have to go to the right spot to do that. And Andy, we've got Phil on too today, and we're just going to run it like normal. Phil's going to give a little elevator pitch how he normally would, and Emily's going to do her presentation for us this week. Yeah. So I'll have a look at your one to see that I can see what's going on. Tell me if I'm looking, rough or anything. Okay. All right. Awesome. So, given everybody's got things up, how about I do the acknowledgement? We acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of Kulin Nation, and we offer our respects to the owners and these traditional lands, and through them to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, past and present. So for you, Phil, we pretty much keep this. This isn't going to be too many surprises for you. We've done a bit of networking. We always talk about learning objectives being systems, networks, and services for what we do. We've got yourself with us today. We'll give our introductions as we would normally for our BNIs, and then we'll have a presentation from Emily, who's got her presentation next week at BNI Oasis up there in Brisbane, and we'll just talk about state of play, which is tomorrow, and we'll close things off. We usually run pretty close, really close to time, so it should be good. Because Emily is presenting, I won't spend much time on this part. Adrian, I think we can probably whiz through this a little bit. So we all know our mission: protect, build, and grow. And the main thing we remind people around is this: attract and retain more customers. And just so you know, Emily, your slides have got an additional slide in them and an additional picture. So, and the other thing that we do is talk about the association with the Australian Marketing Institute now as well, just so you're aware. And our services are all on the website, which Emily will talk about. And this is our model, which we'll also save for Emily to talk about as well. I didn't update this slide, but I did hear when I was at BNI last week. I don't know if anybody else, if you've got anything to share about ones you might have been, but I was at BNI CBD in Melbourne, and there's a talk that Brad Sugars gave talking about sort of surviving economic crisis, like the stuff that we're in at the moment. So I've Googled it. I was going to listen to it in the car, but then I decided I'd listen to my Apple Music instead. But yeah, Brad Sugars, have a look at it on your BNI. And I guess the other thing around, we don't know this yet, but there is some likelihood that Anthony may well not become a member of BNI Prosperity. If that happens, then we are looking to fresh networking, and he will be our fresh networker. And so we'll apply a very similar approach to Andy in that. And I've had a look, and and we both had a look, and sort of we think there could be some advantages there. You get a decent profile every second week meeting. There's Richmond, there's City, and there's Carlton. So any one of those would be worth attending between now and Christmas, and we're going to step that out, right? Right. Cool. And I think did you have your interview yet for United in Adelaide, Jay? In the end?
No, it's Thursday.
Awesome. Yep. So
in person.
You got an in-person interview. Very good. All right. So that'll be good. So we hopefully will kick along. Now this is where we do talk about our wins. Now the one that strikes me in straight away that I'm aware of is Ben gave his first by himself audit and consult, and I think we're just waiting on a time and date for that. Ben, do you want to let us know around that?
We're done. We're done. We've got a time and date next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay, so Thursday week. How good is that? Big up,
Thursday.
mate.
Nice.
That's it. So
Thursday next week, and we've got another audit and consult for this Thursday as well.
That's right. So fantastic. That's really good. So anybody else want to trumpet? Anything else that we are? But that is great news. So we're just saying before you guys jumped on the call, Ben's had the advantage to some degree of being in his BNI early, but also the fact that he's always been face-to-face, which just goes to show that trust and relationship may well be able to be built a little bit quicker, I think, as well. So, but that's all right. We're all here face-to-face here now, which is, we kind of, if someone had said a month ago, we probably wouldn't have thought that was going to happen in 2020. So it's pretty good. Sweet. All right. Yeah, so Phil, what we might be doing, I mean, rather than do sort of, how would you normally sort of do a bit of a presentation, or sorry, when you do your 60 seconds, what would you typically, you don't have to do a typical one for us here, maybe you could just sort of set up what you normally do for others' sake. You know, how do you normally set up your 60 seconds when you're pitching to your members?
Well, I can give you an example of one that I just did.
Yeah.
So I'll run through it, and then I'll sort of talk to you about why I kind of go through this sort of stuff.
Yep.
So my 60 seconds is I'll say Phil Strati from TechSeek. I hold the IT support category in this chapter. We're finding that business owners are paying too much money for managed service providers without any level of certainty or security when it comes to their IT equipment. None of the business owners had access to their passwords. None of the business owners could tell me how to check their backups were working. And none of the business owners could recall what antivirus they had and whether the subscription was active. If you or someone you know is after a fresh approach to your IT support, we'd love an intro. So basically that talks about the fact that in IT there is too much uncertainty. People are already stressed enough as it is, the fact that you know, they don't have control over every aspect of IT, and neither do we really. Things just keep changing. But what we're trying to push across with our 45-second is the fact that small business owners need to have someone that's consistent and committed to looking after their IT, but also doesn't withhold information from them, is transparent, and actually teaches them how to do and be aware of the software they're using and the backups they're using and stuff like that, to give them some level of control so that, you know, they're not relying so heavily on us when things go wrong.
And do you, because you're a little bit like us, you're not industry specific, so how do you pick and choose, well, clearly it's in your name, small business IT support, but how do you pick and choose the sorts of businesses and even, you know, what the avatar looks like?
We do it based on location. Yep. So we'll say, because we're based in Winnie Ponds and I live in Keilor Park, I usually look for clients that are sort of in the inner northern and inner western suburbs. And we basically look for staff that have anywhere between 3 staff and 20 staff. So it's that small pocket. So because of that, yeah, there's no specific industry or niche. It can be things like we're currently looking after dental clinics and childcare centres and lawyers, conveyancers, car dealerships, pretty much anything of that sort of size is not a problem for us because they're all going to benefit from that support membership that we offer because it's tailored specifically for that size.
Cool. All right. I'm just going to take 1 second because I'm thinking, do you guys want to order something too? Okay, so let me just I'm just going to pass a little order slip around so that people order. And I don't even know this is on, but I'm ordering a bacon and egg roll. Hales. That will exist, right? You don't think it does? The closest to something along those lines. You just want to see what people, and then someone can take the order, do the order for us. Awesome, thank you, Phil. That was not to be rude by any means as well. That was great. Thanks for sharing that. And I should point out to others, Phil isn't, well, has been off and on with BNI involved for quite some time, and there's not too many people that refer like Phil refers. He's really good at keeping people top of mind in terms of, you know, when he goes out and works with the businesses that he works with, he'll often sort of ask them the question around social media and social media marketing. So I really appreciate our relationship, Phil. So thanks for being with us today, and I look forward to hearing a little bit later on as well.
No worries.
I don't think you've met Huong, Phil, but Huong's my partner. On this day 5 years ago, she was about to release our 5-year-old, who basically is his birthday today. So yeah, but she also provides advice to me and HR for the business, as well as having her own role full time. I haven't had that. Normally, by the way, Adrian would play a much stronger role here today. We're winging this a little bit, but Adrian, just so you know, I thought because we've got Phil here that we would talk about Mac or PC. I'm thinking, looking around, are we all on Macs? There's no, Andy's got a non-Mac, and so you can let us know that, and iPhone or Android. So just are we Mac or PC, iPhone and Android? That's fairly self-explanatory, right? Awesome. All right. So good morning, marketers. My name is Steve Hubbard, and I'm your marketing graduate from Monash University here in Melbourne, and I'm based in Footscray in Melbourne's west. My local council is Maribyrnong, and I am absolutely Mac and iPhone, and I have been since 2010 when I went back and studied. In fact, iPhone for a lot longer than that. Wow, my wins for the week. Geez, that's a tricky one. I should have a win for the week. That's the other thing me and Adrian usually do before, and I give that some thought. In fact, I also give some thought to what my next question should be. So let's say the wins for the week is arranging today. Look, I'm really pumped that this is our first chance to get together, and we've been able to book that. And I like to work with fun, online and professional services, and I would particularly like an introduction to, let's go with businesses that are exploring digital currency. Right, so Steve Hubbard from Dify Social. Who's next? It must be sorry.
Okay. I am a marketing graduate from BU, and I'm your Dify Social media marketer in Maidstone, where I've lived, worked and played for 7 years. I have a Mac and an iPhone, so all on Apple. My wins for the week would be a referral I had from Corinne. So I had a beautiful call with an 80-year-old woman about her business. So hopefully that goes somewhere. And this week I'm looking to connect with property inspectors. So next up is Andy.
Good morning, all.
Steve, sorry, Andy. Steve, can you please mute your screen just when you guys are talking at the cafe, just because it's like coming through double?
Yeah, true.
Is he muted? No.
Sorry, Andy.
I'm about to do that.
Sorry. There you go. Sorry, can you go back to PowerPoint?
Yeah, sure.
Good morning. My name is Andy. I'm your Dify Social. I'm your marketing graduate from RMIT University, and I'm your Dify Social media marketer here in Brisbane Sunshine North Council, where I've lived, worked, and played my whole life. I'm definitely a PC and Android person. My wins for this week would probably be organising WBN's Christmas dinner that we're going to have. I would love to really work with and for businesses in the construction industry. So this week I'll love to connect with them. Up next is Anthony.
Anthony, I think you're on mute.
Okay, I'll go. Morning, everyone. I'm Hayley, and I'm your marketing almost graduate from Monash Uni. I'm your social media marketer here in Melbourne. I'm definitely a Mac girl through and through. My wins for the week, probably not Diffy related, but I do my final exam tomorrow. Fingers crossed it passes and I'm done. I'd really like to work with them for professional services. So any lawyers that you know, it'd be great to get in contact with. Thanks.
All right, how can we hear? Beautiful. All right. So I'm your marketing graduate from La Trobe University. I am your Diffy social media marketer here in Epping, where I've lived, worked and played for the last 4 years. I am 100% Mac and iPhone. And my wins for the week is, well, I have a loss. 3 BNI is unlucky. But my win is like learning about fresh networking. So I'm keen to do a bit more research on that and go this Wednesday. And I'd really like to work with and for businesses in any sporting industry, preferably who own a sports shop. So I'd like to connect with those people. Up next is...
Hi, everyone. My name's
Sorry, Emily.
That's okay. I'll just wait. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Emily. I am your marketer here in Holland Park, South Brisbane. I am a marketing graduate from Rutgers University, and I'm currently studying at Griffith. I am a hardcore Mac person. On my desk right now, there's a MacBook, an iPad Pro, and my phone, so an iPhone. So that is how it is. I didn't have any real professional wins for the week, but I did make all of the food for Thanksgiving this weekend, so that took a lot of time, so I'm happy about that. I would really like to work with and for businesses that maybe could help us with our TikTok presence. I was kind of hoping we'd have merch by now, so I've sort of run out of ideas, but anyone who could help me with that would be great. All right, up next is Hannah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah, and I'm your marketing graduate from QUT, and I'm your Diffy social media marketer here in Brisbane, Queensland, where I've lived, worked, and played for 8 years. And I am definitely an Apple girl, so Mac and iPhone. My wins for the week was probably getting my first business cards, the Diffy social business cards. And I would like to work with and for, again, probably people in the events industry, especially those, that could help try plan Christmas parties and stuff like that. Next up is Jake.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jake, and I'm your marketing graduate from the University of South Australia, and I'm your Diffy social media marketer here in Adelaide, where I have lived, worked, and played for the last 8 years. Like Andy, I'm part of the PC and Android gang. My wins for the week are probably conducting a one-to-one with a specialist secretaries company here, your business in Adelaide, which is going to look like that we're going to do an audit and consult in the next coming weeks. So that's really exciting. And then this week, I'd also like to work with and for businesses in the content creation industry, so mainly more web developers, because we need some website person in our chapter. So up next is Ben.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben. I am your social media marketer here in Wanneroo, Perth, and I am your marketing graduate, marketing, advertising, and PR graduate from ECU. My wins for this week, we have got, obviously, I've got another audit and consult this week for a health products person. We've got the setup and planning session booked in for the following Thursday. I've got another tattoo booked in for Thursday. And is there one more? I think that's it for now. And this week I'd like to work with and for I guess we're going to go with tradies, because I think that's the bread and butter at the moment for getting audits and consults done. So yeah, tradies.
Okay, good one. All right, Adrian, now I'll let you go and I will turn my mic off.
Thanks.
This is the best blended meeting I've been.
Okay, let's go. Ben, what is Jake's computer of choice?
Oh, it's PC and Android.
That's right. Yep. Okay. Let's go, Andy. What was Hayley's win for the week? Anthony, do you know?
Couldn't write anything down because I don't have a pen and paper, but it was an audit consult. Last exam. Oh, okay, it was last exam. Yep.
Okay, and let's go, Emily. Who was Hannah looking to connect with this week?
Oh, man. Oh, Hannah, I'm so sorry. I don't remember. Was it? Oh, okay. Haley remembers.
Go, Haley.
Was it like events planners?
Yeah. For Christmas
Yeah,
parties.
Oh, yeah, Christmas parties. Okay. Sorry, Hannah.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think we should probably skip the stretch this week. It might be a little bit awkward for us.
Someone needs to orchestrate it while I'm doing this. While I'm just sorting out. I still think we should stretch. It's so important.
Okay. Emily, let's do some type of
Sure.
hand stretch one or something.
Okay, so you're going to put your hands together and press. You're going to press inwards to stretch out the ends of your wrist.
The third wave brekkie burger.
And then flip it upside down and do the same thing.
You guys want it?
Yeah.
No, just the third wave brekkie. $9 or something.
The brekkie muffin.
Alright.
No, just third wave brekkie, it says.
They're distracted in Melbourne, I see.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, don't worry about stretching. I'm worrying about eating. Sorry.
I've noticed.
That was a really good stretch, though.
Oh, thanks.
Really stretched out my forearms. Maybe I need to do that more often.
I actually,
I'm gonna watch it on Haley.
wrist health is like super important, and no one does it. So stretch your wrists.
Especially, I think, because we're always like sitting at our computers like that.
Yeah.
Like, resting.
Yep.
Nice.
Stretch your wrists. So while they figure it out, I'm fostering a kitten. She hates people. It's going terribly.
Nice.
What color is it, Em? A kitten or like an older cat?
She's young, but she has had kittens, so she's not that young. But yeah, this is where she is today, hiding behind the crate.
Oh,
Nice.
cute.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
What's her name?
Poppy.
How long are you having her for?
From either 2 weeks to a month. We'll see how the first 2 weeks go.
That'll be sad when you have to give her back.
I've only had her for about a day, so hopefully she warms up. Yeah.
You have a cat as well, don't you, Ben? Oh, he just took his headphones
You can
off.
see the cat in the down at the bottom.
Ria had the cat who used to come on screen. That was fun.
Yeah. What's your cat's name, Ben? Oh.
I've got 3. I've got Cookie, Coco, and Smokey.
No.
Taking their sweet time in Melbourne.
I know, really, what the hell? That's okay. I'm not really prepared to present today anyway, so take your time.
It's a weird ordering system here.
Mm. Sure. He didn't click the mute button, so I don't know if he's trying to talk to us or not.
Can you hear Steve?
No.
Steve's on mute.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
on
No.
Steve,
Now you should be able to hear me. Yep.
There we go. The most common phrase of 2020. You're on mute.
Yeah.
You're on mute, Steve. Yeah. Well, I'm used to having 2 screens, so here you can't tell, right? So, all right. Now I'm going to look at here, and hopefully Emily has done me a favour, Emily. And when I copied and pasted, I can actually read your little template, so I can do you. Whilst this is a terrible introduction, I can at least read this part well. All right.
Yes.
And now I have to share this for everybody, just so you know. Welcome everybody. Emily is your social media marketer from Holland Park in Brisbane. She is studying for her master's degree in marketing and international business at Griffith University and will graduate in 2021. She has already received a bachelor's degree in public relations from Rutgers University in the US. She has been working and playing in Brisbane since January. She is originally from New Jersey, USA. Prior to coming to Brisbane, Emily worked in community development at a local not-for-profit focused on the job training for adults with disabilities. This included social media manager and content creation, donor development and fundraising. Emily's burning desire is to find a job which allows her to work in Australia and the United States so that she can see all her friends and family. Something not many people know about Emily is that she shares a birthday with her sister even though they are 2 years younger. That is a very... what happened there? That wasn't a good idea. Now I've got to find where the heck that is. All right, sorry. All right, we're getting there. I just need to work out how to get this last little bit so I can tell you this last little bit about Emily is that she's always trying to learn something new. The world is very big and there is so much to discover. Too true. Emily, give me a break here and over to you.
Sure thing. So hi everyone. My name is Emily. I'm the Dify Social Media Marketer for Holland Park as well as Sydney. I have studied for public relations at Rutgers University, which is the State University of New Jersey, and I'm currently studying for my master's degree at Griffith. I'm also a member of the Australian Marketing Institute as well as, BNI Oasis. So a little bit about me is I have a very big family, both in the United States and in Australia. They are all very important to me. I miss my American family very much. It's been a long week, but it's been really great to be here and get to know my Australian family even better. So I had moved to Australia in January just before COVID, but before I had moved here, I spent a lot of time traveling and going on adventures with my friends, and we had a favorite karaoke bar we would go to every Friday. I'm currently training to be a weightlifter at the Sunshine Coast Weightlifting Club. I have my first competition on December 12th, so I'm very excited. But this picture here at Intrepid Montclair was my gym back at home with my coach. Her name is Monica. As I mentioned, I went to Rutgers University where I was a member of the Sigma Kappa sorority, and I studied public relations, business, and music. My first career was working at Employment Horizons, which was a local non-for-profit that focused on job training and job coaching skills for adults with disabilities. I loved it very much. The picture in the center was my team. The 4 of us would organize about 10 or so large to small fundraising activities throughout the year, as well as doing community development. So next slide. So these This is Dify Social's mission, purpose, and values. So our main mission is to protect, build, and grow businesses using different social media marketing with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and set up Google My Business and YouTube. So our purpose is to gain competitive advantage and attract and retain more customers through the use of Facebook advertising and social media marketing. Our main values are have fun and do good. We exemplify this through using B1G1 to give back to the community. Also passion, integrity, innovation, community, and the BNI philosophy of givers gain. So our objectives are both long and short tail. This means that we would like to attract customers in the short term, but then retain them in the long term. We do this by protecting and building equity in your brand and differentiating you from your rivals and for your clients through online use. We also aim to be top of mind with your target communities and increase business development opportunities by exploring interests and inquiring via the website, phone, email, and your venue. So Dify Social advertises our services as products. So our services are clearly outlined on our website as well as our pricing. We offer 3 different sizes from extra, extra small, and small. Depending on what suits your business, we will post up to 10 times per week, as well as engaging with other local communities as your brand. We also offer audit and consults, which is a one-time fee, which can be, which we ignore if you move forward with us, but we can help identify holes in your social media strategy and create a long-term plan for your brand. I'm like stumbling over my words today. So now we are looking at the Dify Social strategic model. So in the first left-hand corner, we have the small business house. Small business house is important because it shows that social media can help, but only if you already have a strong brand with a strong foundation. Otherwise, we just help bad businesses fail faster. Next, we move on to communication. It's very likely that prospects and customers look very similar, and we want to differentiate you from your rivals, and we do this through focused communication that aims for your target market. We also aim to repurpose your content by creating valuable information on your website with easy access to all your social media channels. We have learned from the social media report that less than 50% of small businesses in Australia currently use social media, and less than 13% of those even have a strategy. This is a problem because 90% of Australians are actually on Facebook, which means that that is the target audience you could be having. It's not my day today. So we like to work with customers that from the bottom up. So we like to work with customers that are fun, essential, and probably online. This means that we're looking for companies that are looking for professional social media help, not just someone who can ask their niece or nephew to post on Facebook sometimes. It's about having a strategy and a professional mode of attack. These are some of the clients we have, including Burgundy Bespoke Jewelers, who all of you have met in my chapter. They've all met him, so he's a Brisbane superstar.
Yeah, that's a good one for you to be able to show off.
Next slide, Steve.
As well as the Sydney contingent. Am I on the next slide? Yeah. I'm on it. Hey. Am I muted?
Okay, we are now. Nope. Yeah, yes. Okay. All right. So our target community are Peter and Peta. So Peter and Peta are small business owners, and they have had a strong business presence in their local community for a long time. They're probably just your average typical people, love music, love being professional, and also have a strong passion for serving their community. However, they're worried that they're losing their competitive edge due to the fact that they're not online, and they don't really know how to go about getting started. They're a little concerned about new kids on the block and are just looking for someone to help point them in the right direction. So if this describes you or someone you know, that's exactly who we're looking for. So thank you so much. As I said, my name is Emily, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or just give me an email or a call. And thank you so much.
All right. Rightio.
Good job.
Thanks.
Not exactly helped by the technology here. I think realistically, I'm on mute, but somebody else was off, so I think anyway. All right. Somebody turn off. Maybe you turn off, Hayley. And
Then they're gonna hear double.
oh, will they? Okay.
You're not on mute.
I'll turn off then. I'll turn on. I am on. You can hear me, right? Did you turn me on, Adrian? If you did, good work. All right, so Phil, did you want to share with us? Did you want me to stop presenting and you to present, or are you happy just to talk through with us?
He's on mute.
Phil's on mute. Yeah.
Hold on. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. Yeah. I can do my BNI presentation if you want, if that gives you a better idea of how we work.
Yeah.
I think it's about 5 to 6 minutes. Yeah.
So what about
if I read it fast?
Yeah. What about I stop sharing and you can share? Yeah. Do you want to share from your end?
I never tried it with Whereby, but we'll see how we go. Yep.
It'll work beautifully. Don't you worry. It's like clockwork down this end.
Select window or screen. Let's have a look here. So, PowerPoint slide.
Now you can say that you've been to a blended meeting, folks. And I think it's going beautiful. Hayley wouldn't go in the selfie video. That was the only downside.
Oh, you're like an embarrassing dad.
Yeah, that's my job. All right. Phil, I don't have, I think I did say before that you're pretty awesome, so that's what I'm going to leave it as. This is the awesome Phil. And Phil, well, I guess what I do know is that you basically started effectively or part of the startup chapter in Melbourne's Inner West in Yarraville, right? That's most recently now. So, yeah, so Phil, welcome to the stage.
No worries, I'll get started. Hopefully this works. So, anyone tell me what this logo is?
Tinder.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't
so
know.
yes, it is Tinder. Everyone's going to pretend not to know. So it's casual. Will you still be able to contact your tech when you need their services next time? They're risky. Will they do a good job, or will they leave your office and have you even more disappointed? Questionable. Will they have as much experience as your last tech, and will they need to be re-inducted about how things work? Does anyone recognize this logo? So apparently this is eHarmony, and it doesn't surprise me no one knows what it is. So it's long term.
I think they must have rebranded.
Yeah, they have. You need a tech you can rely on and who will always be available. Trustworthy. Someone you can trust with your private company data and who you won't be afraid to introduce to your network. And experienced. Committing to an IT company like TechSeek will eliminate the need for a reinduction and get you back online, leaving you feeling satisfied. So why casual support fails? So technicians who offer casual support calls are unable to predict when their next job will be, and as a result, they try to take on as many jobs as they can, you know, for fear of not being able to cover their overheads. Over time, responses will worsen, and so does the quality of work, as the tech will always be in a rush to get to the next job. And then we've got managed services, which is the other side of the spectrum. So managed services usually target business owners with 10 or more staff and start around the $800 mark. MSP business model, or the managed service provider's business model, works by installing monitoring software on all your workstations, which report back to a dashboard on their end. And the MSP software will flag when the server needs to be updated or has had an error message or failed to back up. Now, with the introduction of all these cloud software like Xero and 365 and Dropbox, all these in-house servers are phasing out. And, you know, even with your backup software now, you've got the option to, you know, receive notifications via email. So a lot of the need for this monitoring is kind of falling through. So our business class membership is $145 per month, gives you an hour of on-site or remote support per month. You get rolling credits, so each month you accumulate an hour if you've just signed up for an hour. And if you don't use that hour, it keeps rolling over. So each hour has a 12-month expiry. So essentially, the other thing being as well is that you get an additional 2 hours in advance. So we see this as important because some customers are only up to about 5 staff, and we'll recommend that they buy an hour a month. But within the first month, they get so excited that everything's going to get fixed. They want a lot of additional things done. So we allow their account to dip into -2. And then over the next 2 to 3 months, they can recuperate those hours. So the idea is basically to help them protect their cash flow. So how the clients benefit from our model: availability, creating a business model with reoccurring income meant that we could forecast income and therefore limit the amount of clients we take on. So I take on about 60 hours of membership myself, and then when I hit that capacity, we put on another tech who's almost at full time now. Quality of service, so having more time available, we can better service the clients and identify issues that will affect them long term rather than being in a rush to get out of there or run to the next job. And cash flow, so providing the monthly payment option that accumulates meant that when something goes wrong, that we can get out there and them not have to worry about us affecting their cash flow. So our target market: small businesses between 3 and 15 staff, operating in Melbourne's inner north and west. Basically, time-poor business owners who understand the value and relief of having their IT support outsourced. So this is something we talked about. These are BNI members in my group. So would you change your mechanic every time your car was due for a service? Would you change your accountant every time you had to do your tax? Or would you change your bookkeeper every time your BAS was due? And yet, so this is the thing that we try to push across to clients is that you're not changing these people because it would seem stupid to do so, but yet they're happy to call a different technician every time something goes wrong with their computer. So values that are important to us: communication. So tech should be able to explain your IT issue, what can be done and how they will fix it. The last thing you need is more jargon, lack of explanation and arrogance. Trust. So having your IT managed by someone other than yourself can be daunting. Access to your personal and business data should be limited. Do they have permanent access to your PC or notebook, and should they? How are they storing your passwords? And again, this is a problem when you're switching techs all the time. Your personal and business data is being passed on to everyone. There's no guarantee of, really the person you're going to be seeing next if you're not using the same company, and what their level of experience is. Again, are they providing you with a list of your login credentials or keeping them locked away? We tend to find a lot of tech companies that we replace, they hold the customer's credentials very close to them, maybe for fear of them dropping them as a tech provider. And are they teaching you to do your backups, or are you heavily reliant on them? So for us, it's about giving back control. So we want to teach them how to do their backups and come to us if there's a problem with backing up, not just blindly switching over the drives or doing things that they've been told without really knowing whether backups, for example, are happening, and then finding out when shit hits the fan that they've not backed up for the last 5 to 6 months. So these are sort of things as well. We talk to people if we're trying to sell our service across to them. So we'll say, what's an hour of your time worth to you? So lawyers, again, charge about $400 an hour, and yet they'll go and buy their printer from Officeworks and spend an hour and a half setting it all up when they should be spending that time servicing their own clients. So I guess this is kind of the mindset we're trying to retrain people with, not to try and do everything yourself. So services: PC repairs, upgrades, Mac repairs. We'll do some smartphone, not repairs, but we'll help them do things like set up emails and whatnot on their phones, Wi-Fi and network. We'll help them with web hosting and email hosting, migrating them to Office 365 or G Suite, your cloud storage like your Dropbox and OneDrive, NAS drives, which is just like an external hard drive that's connected to the network, which are kind of replacing servers at the moment. Trouble with scanning via photocopies or setting them up or installing them, and your virus and malware implementation and management. And obviously data backup and management, and helping you set up a backup routine, and also making sure that you know what's being backed up as well. Supply of PCs, notebooks, printers, etc. So industries with service, like we said before, pretty much everyone within that sort of size, as you can see there. Melbourne's inner north and west. So bread and butter for us, 1 to 3 hours a month. So the way we kind of work out the hours is we'll say up to 5 staff an hour, 5 to 10 staff 2 hours, and so on and so forth. Some customers just may want more, but we just do this as a guide. So 5 to 10 hours of support, and then multiple sites, so more than 10 hours a month. That's it for me.
Hey, thanks, Phil. I think a couple of real takeaways for me is that you have a really, well, firstly, I like the introduction. I didn't know the logos. I didn't know either of them, so that probably blows it a little bit. But you had told me beforehand, so it was good to actually see. I think it's a great way of getting people's attention and drawing their attention as to why you'd go with a trusted person. The second thing is I've always thought that offer that you have, the membership, I think that's a great offer. Is that quite successful for you in terms of that business membership type offer? Just so if you didn't hear that, from an IT perspective, what is it per month, Phil?
So it starts at $145 a month.
Yep.
And that's for an hour, and then it obviously doubles and triples based on, if they're 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20 staff, and the fact that it rolls over as well. So for a small business owner, one of the main sort of objections they have is they'll say, yeah, well, I just don't need you that much. And so that's fine because our hours roll over. But the important thing is it's great not to need us all the time, but when you do, you don't really want to be reinducting a different tech each time or having someone else have access to your passwords and all that sort of stuff that people just don't consider. So we should be treated like your accountant or bookkeeper when it comes to, giving someone else access to your business data.
Yeah, and so my thinking is that that's a really good offer, and the fact that it rolls over, you don't feel like you're paying a fee for no service. So and so for B and I imagine that's really attractive to that small business type client, right? So it's the power of having a really good offer. So that was awesome. I reckon you can. So I guess for us in a chapter, I think a number of you might have IT people. In terms of, we've heard how Phil, both in his short 60 seconds, sort of identifies. So generally speaking, technical people and marketers and social media, really hand in hand. You're not going to get a better sort of similar customer, that require both services. So often going to be really good referral partners within your chapter. Clearly in Melbourne, if you haven't got one in your chapter, then we know of Phil, right? So awesome. And
a lot of people as well. A lot of B&Is, they have IT people in there, but they're always asking for more than 10 staff. So if you have someone that you need to help out, and the fact they're already used to the Dify subscription model, then it's going to be a no-brainer to bolt on another 145 and get that IT support in addition to it.
Yes, I have an IT person in my chapter now, and she wants 20 plus people that she generally works with.
Shona, was it Shona? Yeah.
Shona, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did one-to-one with her recently, and so I can see the differences with potential people to refer either to you or her.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when a lot of IT people kind of get told you either do ad hoc where you just casually visit people, or you go straight to MSP, and then we're kind of going, well, we want to provide a product that's in the middle. And that's why B&I is good for us, because we get to really explain the model. It's not an off-the-shelf thing that everyone knows, which is good for us because it gives us a bit of a niche. We don't really have to compete with all those big managed service providers. We just say, if you're bigger than that, 20 plus staff, you can go with someone like Shona if you feel more confident doing that. If not, we can sort you out.
Yep, exactly. So
I'm back and I'm charging, so that's good. Rightio, we're back. Now, I'm trying to encourage the people in Melbourne, and particularly the lads on the other side of me, to start eating. Is there no way, are you guys, what's that? You're worried about spreading it over things, yeah? Yeah? Andy, come on, have a crack. All right. So thank you, Phil. As I said, first time we've done it along those lines. And our coffees and our food has arrived. So, everybody seems happy enough just to leave it as is for now. I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll get through this last little bit. Where are we? Right. Well, being as this is the last day of the month, we should all, those of us in BNI, should all get our traffic light reports coming through. Just remember to save that into your folder, and we'll have a chat about how things are going this week in our one-to-ones. But I'm thinking the way everybody's letting me know that they're sort of getting to things and doing their meets and that sort of stuff, that we're going to continue to be in a good spot within our chapters and doing the things. Just so you know, Phil, so we pretty much apply similar numbers. We know that if we do our one-to-ones per week, and then we'll realistically be good chapter members, but it'll also be good for our business as well.
Yeah.
The one thing I was going to just ask around the system side of things this week, and we talked a little bit with a few people towards the end of last week, I think, but just making sure that the people that are in your business network, so your BNI and WBN, and if we're moving to fresh networking, but even some of those chapters that we have been to, Anthony, can I just ask, particularly as we're moving to Christmas, I haven't done an e-news for probably at least 12 months. But I'd like to do one as we go to Christmas, so that we just let everybody know around Australia, that we have what we're doing over that summer period, and it is a good time just to remind everybody that and let everybody know now that we've got marketers around Melbourne and around the country. So can I just ask that you really have a concerted effort over the next fortnight, particularly putting in your new BNI business network, and some people that you think are important from a LinkedIn perspective, and others that you might have met along the way. So if you could do that, I reckon that'd be awesome. Put the e-news tag on it, and I'll go through as well, and just make sure that anybody that's got an e-news, then we'll send them out something around Christmas time, or leading up to Christmas. Awesome. I think otherwise we are going good. Tomorrow's meets, 4:30 at the Big V, 5 o'clock with the All-Stars. We have already talked about Anthony. We haven't added anything definitive yet in Vic. We're still waiting on SA in terms of BNI, but we probably know where we're at with that side of things. And I look forward to all of our one-to-ones now. We pretty much got our locked-in times, which is working. I really like the way that's all played out. It's great. I don't think I've updated this slide, to be quite honest. So I again, just thank you, Phil, for being our guest today. We've really enjoyed having a couple of guests over the last few weeks, and it's really good to hear people that have had experience in both BNI, but also just long time experience in business. So for us to sort of know people, and we'll probably reach out to you, Phil, just so so that we are all connected on LinkedIn and that sort of thing as well. That's okay by you.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I don't think there's too much. I've given brochures out. I've got physical copies of brochures. So here in Melbourne, don't forget to take those back. What I find the brochure is really useful, because I was thinking, do I print it off? And then I went to my first face-to-face one-to-one in 9 months, and I'm thinking, I don't have my brochure to give out, right? So it is good. So when you do your face-to-face brochures now, particularly, that's when it's good. And for those of you, the All-Stars, so in Brisbane, I think, Hannah, we've already had a quote come back from Quick Copy, which is very reasonable. So we'll get them printed for you guys. And awesome. Jake and Ben, if you want to do likewise, just maybe get a couple of quotes, maybe get a strategic one, and then and one that they're probably both strategic. Try and get one that maybe is a printer that's not involved in BNI, and get a quote, because they've already expressed, Quick Copy up in Brisbane have expressed an interest in Hannah and Dify Social as a result of printing our brochures up there, right? So use that as a bit of an opportunity. Sweet. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to start eating my Eggs Benedict. And Adrian, you're just going to quickly go, or you're going to tell us what you're up to this week, and then go around the room.
We've got a visitor day this week on my chapter, so I've been trying to invite people to come along. Got a couple one-to-ones booked in. I think I've got the one-to-one with Steve later today. That's all right. Yeah, okay. I think that's pretty much it for this week. It's a pretty quiet week. Jake, what do you have on this week?
So hopefully hear back from the one-to-one I had on Friday about setting up an audit and consult. Got to get a few quotes for the printing, for the brochures and business cards. Got my BNI interview on Thursday, and then also going to a local council networking event on Friday. So bit of a busy week, so should be good.
Okay, Hayley?
Pretty quiet week. I think I'm doing a one-to-one with someone that's interested in doing some social media marketing for my chapter. Besides that, just got to do some scheduling, some study, all that fun is. Yeah.
Okay, Hannah?
I have all the usual scheduling, my BNI presentation, 2 one-to-ones, 3 maybe even actually, and that's it. Just pretty normal, except my presentation.
Just don't forget, there's 2 things, both for Hannah and for Emily. So I've seen you've actually got quite good numbers on your LinkedIn events. Make sure you send a private message to those people just to sort of say, hey, because particularly you, Hannah, where you've only got 2 days to go now. Thanks for your interest in my BNI and my presentation. Please let me know your email and mobile if you'd like me to book you in, right? That would be awesome. And please book me in. I'm going to come up. I'll have a listen before I then have a one-to-one with Hayley. So so make sure you book me in, and make sure others maybe do it in our LinkedIn thread if you want to go in. Remember that Brisbane is the sleep in. So even if I know you got Wednesday meetings, but definitely probably you and I, Anthony, maybe if we want to go, you guys have Wednesday meetings. It's probably harder. But if you and I want to be
be 8.
Well, fresh. Oh yeah, so it's probably only me from Melbourne that's going to be able to come along, but I'm keen to. Awesome.
Okay, Ben, you're back. Are you ready to update us?
Yeah. So what have I got? Thursday BNI. Like I said, I've got an audit and consult on Thursday, right after the tattoo booking. So that's going to be fun. Then I had a one-to-one with the web developer with the website person last Friday, and she said she might have a client that she's going to refer me to. I've got to have a chat with my friend who is a nursing person, and she's going to maybe put me in contact with her boss for a one-to-one to do their social media. And I need to have another one-to-one with the cleaner of my group who might also want to be doing social media. Other than that, yeah, just a standard scheduling and engagement. Oh yeah, and I've got to go now. So peace out.
Okay, see you, Ben. Okay, Emily?
Yeah, it's pretty typical. I have my BNI and then go for green right after tomorrow. Hannah, if you could send it to me, I would love to come to your presentation, especially since it's online. And I have a handful of one-to-ones. I don't remember off the top of my head, but one of them includes. Did Steve just leave? Okay. One of them includes the. I just got confused. Sorry, the jeweler that I've been working with. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, Anthony?
Just scheduling and booking in for Wednesdays at the Fresh Networking. And possibly a buzz removalist meeting. Yeah, that's it.
Bit of a quiet. Can you guys hear me? A bit of a quiet week. Probably just a WBN meeting and scheduling. A bunch of scheduling.
And thanks, Phil, for coming along today. Really appreciate you coming. Is there anything that you would like to update us on, or anything else that you want to let us know?
Oh, look, I mean, just in terms of if you are talking to your networks, the best way to sort of get my foot in the door is to offer them a free consultation. That's when we'll pretty much just go in there and just have even up to an hour chat about the current setups they have and what questions they have. And sometimes they've got their own technicians already, but I guess they're worried that maybe if they switch techs again, they're going to get burnt even worse. It's kind of that better the devil you know approach. So it's a great way to go, look, you know what, maybe just have Phil come in and have a chat to you first, and we can kind of give us a chance to build some sort of some rapport with them, and then that'll probably transition into some a once-off casual visit, and then ask them if they like our service to sign up to membership. So it's a great way to get our foot in the door, basically.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. I've got 3 boys, hungry guys, sitting opposite me with probably really lukewarm brekkie burgers. So I reckon we might just wave and say goodbye. And thanks heaps for today, guys. Awesome job.
Good luck, Hannah.
And yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks,
I'll see you
guys.
tomorrow afternoon anyway, right?